Okay, well today what we'd like to do is start with this lesson, Beethoven's 9th. Now what we're going to do is just briefly run through the notes, how they're played on the fretboard, just using our fingers rather than bother with the slide at this time. So firstly, what you might want to do is head up to the 10th fret, and then once we're at the 10th fret, just place your finger flat, and we're going to play a sequence of notes like this. Okay, so what you're doing is just playing across what's essentially the F chord there. Those notes there, so you're going to start with the 10th fret on the 2nd string, 10th on the 3rd, and 10th on the 4th. And you'll run through that twice in a descending or going down in pitch, but going up in motion, that sort of thing. So you'll do that on the 10th, up to the 11th, 13th, twice on the 13th, back to the 11th, 10th, back to the 8th, 6th, 2 on that, 8th, 10th, again on the 10 and back to the 8. Then that arpeggio type of chord back on the 10th to start again. Then back to the 11th, 13th, again, 11th, 10th, 8th, and then down to the 6th, 8th, 10th, 8th, and 2 on the 6th. That's your introductory part. Then we go into this little variation. When we go into the next section, we start with an 8, 10, 6, 8, 10, 11, back to 10, 6, 8, 10, 11, 10, back to the 8, 6, 8, 5 on the 3rd string. Then back to the 10, which is actually, we really should be playing it like with the chord there. So those notes on the 10th fret again, 2nd, 3rd, 4th strings. So back to the 11th, up to the 13, 11, 10, 8, 6, back to the 8, 10, then we hold that 8, then a 13 on the 2nd string, and then a 12 on the bottom string, your E string, 1st string, and then a 15. So you got the 15, then back to the 12 on the same string, and then because you're using a slide and making this sort of sound, that sort of sound, if you're just using your fingers to get used to it, you might be able to go from bend the 10 up to the 12, pre-bend it up to the 12, and then something like that until you get used to the slide, unless you're already an expert on the slide. After we've done that initial part in what's essentially the F, the key of F, then we move down to A, and we're going to play the same melody in A down the bottom here, and it's a different sort of kettle of fish to what we've got up here in F, because you're going to use different strings. A lot of these I use just on the same string, on the 2nd string, but down here we'll start with the, once again we use that little roll of notes there, and we're using the 2nd fret, 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string, just with your finger flat if you can, up to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, up to the 5th, 3rd, 2nd, then change strings, 3rd string, 4th finger, 2nd fret on the same string, 3rd string, 4th fret, 2nd string, 2nd fret, and then back to the 4th. Now why I'm teaching you to use those is because we imagine that you'll probably take up using the slide and it's going to be way easier and sound a little bit more natural than playing a B open on the second string. So you've got and you're going to do that again, and this time we're going to play A, or we're going to play second fret, fourth on the third string, up to the second fret on the second string, back to the third string, fourth fret, and then we finish with the A there, or the second fret on the third string. And then we've got a fourth fret, third string, sixth on the same string, back to second, 4, 6, then we go up and pick up the seventh, back to the sixth, back to the second, then up to the fourth, sixth, seventh, and then back to the sixth and seventh there, 2, 4, and then you play that note, the E on the fourth string on the second fret. Now we head up to the notes exactly 1 octave higher, and we might even use the slide for this last part. So we're going to head from where we were on A, just to conclude that section in A, we go all the way up to the 14th fret, 15th fret, 17th, 15th, 14th, 12th, 10th, back up to the 14th, and back down to the 12th, and then back down to the chord that leads into the guitar solo, which is probably a good idea to get your slide off by then, and which is a C sharp major. And away you go with that sort of thing, then you've got your solo there. So they're basically the notes that are involved in the introductory part to Beethoven's 9th, and see how you go with it. There'll be a new version coming out with a backing track which is way more accurate than mine, the backing track that I normally use, and I'll put a video on of the proper way to do the whole shebang in the near future. Okay, so see how you go with that one.